This is the final project arguing that humans are a part of nature for EVSP508 Environmental Ethics at American Public University. This presentation was research developed and is being presented by me, Cheyenne Rosenbaum. This assignment is due on October 21st, 2018. First, I would like to discuss the outline of my argument. For human beings being part of nature rather than apart from nature. I will start out with a brief introduction, 3 major concepts, followed by a real-life scenario or case study, and I will wrap up my argument with a short conclusion. This image by Toby 2013 is a powerful representation that nature is at our mercy. Whether we argue that humans are part of nature or a part from nature, the future of its existence depends on if we want to keep holding on to it or if we will let it go forever. This presentation is in favor of humans being part of nature and will argue major concepts via evolution, deep ecology, and moral obligations. Evolution can be a touchy subject, and I am not presenting this topic to change your faith. At this moment, I'm just asking you to keep an open mind to follow along with this presentation. Tattersall, 2009, explains that humans belong to the zoological family Hominidae, and Homo sapiens evolved in Africa at least 2 million years ago. He argues that Homo sapiens have a dual origin, where one focuses on the strict evolution of our bones and the other on our cognitive evolution. All species go through an adaptive evolution, some slower or faster than others, because these adaptations are favored for, or else they will become extinct. Deep ecology. Deep ecology is defined as an environmental philosophy and social movement based in the belief that humans must radically change their relationship to nature from one that values nature solely from its usefulness to human beings to one that recognizes that nature has an inherent value of its own. Deep ecology is logical and normative because it is a combination of science and philosophy, which allows for it to achieve more than either science or philosophy can achieve on its own. Irenaeus, the pioneering father to deep ecology, states that no one philosophy and technology is applicable to the whole planet, but the deep ecology platform will lead the world into a very beneficial direction. Moral obligations. The average healthy adult human mind has a general sense of what is right and what is wrong. I say adult in reference to individuals over the age of 25, as they are not going to be affected by prefrontal cortex developing hormones. As we grow up, we are greatly influenced by what is right or what is wrong by the adults in our lives. In grade school, we learn that it is not nice to hurt someone, to take their things, and to say nasty things. When we separate ourselves from nature, we place ourselves above nature. We are better than nature. If we change the word nature to human, we can easily see how mean or nasty it sounds. When we separate ourselves from humans, we place ourselves above humans. We are better than humans. This is how we've achieved issues such as classism and slavery, both of which have known negative outcomes. This cartoon shows how we, as humans, have a moral obligation to help each other. Doesn't it look familiar? The case study we will be discussing is Living Well Rather Than Living Better by Waldmuller, 2015. This article discusses the human rights scenario in Ecuador from 2009 to 2014, where there is a critical connection between human rights and human development that have evolved around the human and nature relationship. Ultimately, this article defines the difference between living well rather than living better. The national implementation of human rights indicators from Ecuador government doctrine of bien vivir, good living, was compared to that of the Western culture. This doctrine is a huge advancement for obtaining nature-focused human rights. Since humans are part of nature, they have the rights to supplies such as clean air and water. This doctrine has changed the human focus of Ecuador from a fulfillment ideology of materialism, which is a traditional Western thinking, to one focused on biocentrism. Biocentrism is defined as the ethical perspective holding that all life deserves equal moral considerations or has equal moral standings. This doctrine is not the first time biocentrism has surfaced. It also has roots in Buddhism, some Christianity, pagan, and Native American traditions. Also in the philosopher Paul Taylor's book, Respect for Nature. By focusing on the things that really matter in life, people are actually happier than the ones with unquenchable materialistic thirst. In conclusion, humans are a part of nature. We may be highly evolved osteocognitive species, but nonetheless, nature is where our origins lay. These highly evolved abilities allow for us to really understand deep ecology, where nature has inherent value rather than species use value, and appreciate it more than any other species, which is actually quite precious in of itself. This deep ecology also relies on the backbones of moral obligation and our highly developed ability to understand what is right and wrong. Lastly, the bien vivir from the Ecuador government is just one example of humans focusing on the benefits of living well and happy rather than focusing on living better, such as greedy materialism and getting ahead of other humans. My personal opinion on this topic is straightforward. I believe we only get one life and we should live it to the fullest because it is very short. We need to sit down and evaluate the things in life that are really important because we cannot take items or money with us when we die. In fact, we need to look at what we leave behind. No one wants to be forgotten, and death is a scary thing to ponder. But does what does leave a lasting impression is how we impact one another. By creating beneficial experiences with each other, we impact the world in a positive way for our loved ones and the later generations of loved ones. Being kind and positive to those around us, including nature, is what we live on. It is how we live on. I once heard this I once heard a belief system where we live in heaven or hell is based on the memories of those after us. Hitler will forever live in hell as he is a negative stain in the memories of society. Virgin Mary will forever live in heaven because she has left the world with positive memories of nurture and kindness. This is your choice to make because your actions are your own, and your actions leave lasting impressions on all living things around you, including nature. These are my references.